Previously, on the Idaho BDR. We dug the 650 out of the mud, brought it into town, and cleaned up both bikes so we could assess the damages. Thankfully, as it would seem, both bikes could be roadworthy, but not by much. Unfortunately, the clutch pack in the XR650 was clearly damaged, but our only option was to just loosen the clutch cable and just see if we could scrape by. Over the course of a 200-mile ride, we would see ourselves go from the high chaparrals of northern Nevada all the way to the peaks of central Idaho. As the elevation increased, we quickly traded the dust and the heat for the cool temperatures and pine trees of the mountains.
Shot on my glasses.
Broke them?
Oh yeah.
Oh no. Yeah, I didn't sleep at all last night. Not one bit. I was convinced I was going to get up at like 4 in the morning and get up to Trinity Mountain lookout for the sunrise. Didn't happen. After somewhere between 10 and 12 hours of riding yesterday, oh, there's a bug in my coffee. It adds protein. After like 10 or 12 hours of riding, like, it was just so tough because I was so tired and we were already getting to bed after the riding, after dinner, after setting up camp. It was like 11 o'clock and I was up 4:30 in the morning. So no sleep. It was legitimately frigid cold last night. I did not expect it. I have totally underestimated the weather for this trip. I didn't see the rain coming, I didn't see the mud coming, and I sure as shit didn't think it was going to be this cold up here. If you're doing this trip, if you're doing this route, if you're riding this route, do not underestimate the weather at all. I mean, this is the warmest set of clothes I got right now. Shout out Carl Cycle Sales, man. You guys are keeping me warm on this thing. Alright, I gotta get some breakfast going, and I gotta start getting ready to get to Trinity.
I lost the camera on the way up. I gotta look for it on the way down. Wow. Yes, I found it.
Despite the heroic montage, for lack of better words, summiting Trinity Mountain had an entirely other story attached to it. At this point, we're only a few days into the long 14-day trek to Canada, and already it feels like so much has happened. And as I've mentioned before, I think part of this just comes down to the fact that these kinds of journeys are just unpredictable by nature. During the filming process, as you saw, I lost one camera on the mountain, but little did I know, I actually had lost my camera gear bag and my drone as well.
I lost connection to the drone.
After losing connection with the drone, I probably spent somewhere near an hour looking for it. In the drone was the original SD card that was still carrying all the footage from the past few days. In the moment, there's no amount of money that can replace that. And all of this had happened before even reaching the summit. But even despite all the luck that we'd had in the last few days, I guess it just hadn't run out yet. As a last-ditch effort, we rode back down the mountain. And miraculously, there it was, just crash-landed right into the side of the hill.
It's crazy to me that so much of this entire film is held on this tiny little thing.
Someplace safe.
So why am I telling you this? I suppose I could have easily edited this out and pretended I made it up to the mountain without any problems at all. But I guess I think that there is a certain value to the added realism by showing it. I think one of my major goals in this film project was to capture this experience in its entirety. With that, the journey continues. As crazy as it sounds, Trinity Mountain was actually just the beginning of the day. It was already mid-afternoon, and to stay on schedule, we would have to go another 200 miles north. Sadly, we didn't even go another 50 miles before more problems showed up. The 650, as we knew, was already running a bad clutch, but climbing Trinity Mountain did a number on whatever was left. Without much of a choice, we decided to reroute again so that we'd hopefully end up in McCall, Idaho by night. This way we could order parts and hopefully be able to fix the bike. Making it to the highway significantly improved our ability to stay on course. Back on the dirt though, every intermittent traction loss or sudden acceleration would cause the 650 clutch to slip. But on the highway, we could stay at around 50 to 60 miles an hour consistently and keep the clutch from slipping just enough. Like the previous day, today was a long day in the saddle, but we did manage to hit our goal of making it to McCall, Idaho by night. Now, the fate of the journey to Canada would be entirely dependent on whether or not we'd be able to get parts. Up next on the Idaho BDR.